students. And so if you can think of some things, because I immediately start thinking about STEM, I start thinking about, arts education. So just think about what do my students need. And so, Ms. Allen, well, we know you won't be here next year. We would love for you to, brainstorm and think about, how can we get some of this money, because this is a great opportunity. And so I told her I would be meeting with teachers as a whole group today, and then I would share this information. So please make sure you read it, because this is a great opportunity. I'm thinking about the young lady that comes for the drama and dance. And so, how can we get a piece of this pie? That's a lot of money, and it's only for Bill County schools. If you look, you will see it's certain schools that can apply if you look on the back. And it's just Bill County schools only. All the schools right here in Bill. And so that's exciting for our district that someone has allotted this much money just for our district. So I want us to be in on that pot of money. So please make sure you think about that. But today, FIP Module 5, Student Ownership of Learning, Peer Feedback, Self-Assessment, and more. Making the connections. When we're doing our FIP modules, it's very important that we think about our strategic map. And that's where we recruit and retain the right people. We have all of these areas. But it connects to teacher and leader effectiveness. And it's BLPLC and standards-based classrooms. That's what this module connects to. And then, of course, our non-negotiables. FIP teach professional knowledge and instructional planning, and then instructional leadership. Alignment of teach standards. Of course, this connects to assessment strategies and assessment uses. I'm going to send this PowerPoint out so you don't have to write anything, okay? Assessment strategies, we've done a lot of work this year on assessment strategies and assessment uses. I think we've been very intentional this year with creating our assessments using School City and really using our Journeys Basil and all of our research-based resources, and then those assessment strategies as well. Where am I going? This is just a triangulation that our students go through, and this is also school improvement. Clear learning targets, criteria for success. Now, when we do more peer observations on next school year, when you go in, you can hear students telling you about their learning target. You can hear students speaking the language of the standard, and that's from kindergarten through 5th grade. Pre-K is doing an excellent job as well. Collect and document evidence. Where am I? So students have opportunities to look at their data and analyze their data. But last but not least, descriptive feedback. And how do I close the gap? Adjust instruction. So as a teacher, when you have self-reflection, I know a lot of you can see how you do all of this all the time. It's just common practice for us. Feedback. The feedback students give teachers can be more powerful than the feedback teachers give students. And all of these people that you see, these authors are, education gurus. So I agree with that statement. I hope you do too. Because when students give us feedback, sometimes they give us feedback we were not even looking for. When we only give a grade as part of our feedback, students routinely read only as far as the grade. We all can make that connection. Because I know when I was in high school, if I seen an 85, that was check off for me. I could care less what was down there. I even think about when I get my leads observation from Ms. Busby, the first thing I start doing is look at the array. Then I look at the array, then I go back and start reading what she said. So I don't know how many of you do that, but I go all scan all the way down, then I start reading my comments. So that lets us know how a grade can really make things permanent. And then effective feedback occurs during the learning while there is still time to act on it. So we think about intervention and even our regular day. Then most of the feedback that students receive about their classroom work is from other students. And much of that feedback is wrong. And that's what John Hattie says, and that's from visible learning. And we know if we teach students how to give feedback, then they won't give the feedback the wrong way. Review effective feedback. There are two types of feedback, success feedback and intervention feedback. So when you give success feedback, you're going to identify what is done correctly. Describe a feature of quality present in the work and point out effective use of a strategy or process. Intervention feedback, you're gonna identify correction. So, they may have multiple things to correct, but you're gonna identify correction, describe a feature that needs work, offer a reminder, make a specific suggestion, and then ask a question. And so that way, sometimes when students need a lot of correction, it's a little more gentle when you do one thing or two things as opposed to if you do everything. If you do everything, you can feel unsuccessful. Now, this is a sample of a student's writing piece. I want to just take an opportunity to read it. Okay, we see this writing piece. It may look familiar to some.
Find a spelling error, but they have to know that. For some person like us that don't know it, it's like, it's not as
They
deal.
don't know how to share the word. They don't know what's in it. I mean, so they have to go through each individual word.
Yeah, but that's still taking ownership.
But it's confusing.
And why is it confusing to them? Lower grade. So we would have to teach them this, and then you will have to progress to this as you get older.
Yeah.
Because if you start looking at this in kindergarten, we know it will have to be on the lower scale. And then when we move to first grade, second, it builds. Because when I looked at this, the first thing I thought about for third through fifth, achievement level descriptors. Because you start with the beginning, then you keep moving on. But what about this one?
Oh.
Who would that would be good for?
Somebody.
Miss James said somebody that's
First thing comes to mind.
Look at it. Mr. Clinton, what you saying?
High school and college.
Oh, I said that.
Unless you taught it, like you should.
That's
One dot maybe.
Oh, no. One dot, one error, two
Because this one dot right here means it's an error.
Error,
It's one error.
That's 5 errors.
And right here's 5 things. So who would that work for?
Someone that's
See,
the high
achieving students. So they would have to go in and figure out, is it spelling, punctuation, capitalization?
high level, high order thinking.
Yeah, so they would really have to go back and know how to self-assess using those dots. And I see some people, wheels turning to use this strategy right here. I mean, I see some upper grades looking. Regarding student ownership of learning and peer feedback aligned to the current practices you see implemented in your school. Let me read that again. How do your current beliefs regarding student ownership of learning and peer feedback align to the current practices you see implemented in your school? You can have 2 minutes to respond.
Starting now.
Starting now.
To receive feedback from their peers because students can explain things in a very consistent student-friendly language. It also builds a positive culture environment and helps to build positive social skills amongst the student and the student body.
If they don't understand. And then another thing, I think they're more apt to listen because they're not so feeling like uncomfortable with the feedback that's given to them by peers.
You tried
They know they
recording this
understand.
thing? You tried recording it? Madison, not. It's not recognizable. Format, not recognizable. Format was not recognizable. And I did it with 5.
How might your conversations have been different had we not used this protocol?
We would have had, Jordan dominating the conversation. Nobody else would have been able to say anything. And then we would have had Miss Jackson.
I love you.
I love you too. Miss Jackson would have been sitting back and she would have never said anything. We would have never heard her. So that was pretty fun.
It balances our conversation and it forces you to be ready to respond. You know, it forces you to be all in. You know, in the conversation, you can't escape because you have a, you know how sometimes you say, okay, this person likes to talk, I'm sitting back. You know, I mean, because these protocols, I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you, at VIP meetings, it forced me to talk. Because I might go and say, hey, I am going to ride it out today. And so these protocols, it forces you, even if you are, you know, you don't want to get upset, you start thinking about, well, let me add what I'm thinking. Okay? What else? Ms. Quinn? Ms. Allen?
Our conversation would have just kept going on and on about the questions if we had that, we didn't have to stop. We just kept talking about some and responding back to the words.
So having that defined time is very helpful too, because it helps keep us on track. Okay? Ms. Joy? It's specific, staying specific. So you can't start running in other directions. You have to stay focused on the question. It doesn't lend itself to you to start your own conversation. Okay, just focus. Anybody else? Okay. When would you use this protocol? When would you use it? Anybody?